Wilson Brothers Ranch.
Okay, so we're back. I hope that you watched the previous episode. Kind of lets you know how we got to where we're at right now. So I've acquired the ranch. Now I can start being a ranch owner. Small ranch, but small ranch owner. So it's time to get busy. And it's time to buy a vehicle. I started searched Craigslist, everything, eBay. I happened to come across this one particular truck on Bidadoo. Bidadoo, Bidadoo on eBay. And what they mainly did was sold heavy equipment, excavators, dozers, that type of thing. But for some reason, they had this particular truck. So I started investigating. So I read everything that I could read about this truck. They showed it crank up and move around the yard, and it had a lift gate on it and a big winch on the front. And they worked the winch, and they made the tailgate go up and down. It's like, what a perfect ranch truck. That truck would be perfect for a ranch. So I was like, all right, let me check into this more. So I'll read into it, and this truck has 16,000 miles on it. I'm thinking, how does a 20-year-old truck only have 16,000 miles on it? I found out that this truck was originally from the City of Seattle Lights Department. I guess traffic lights, stop signs, that type of thing. So I ended up calling them, and I ended up getting a hold of the supervisor that truck belonged to. He had that truck, and I said, well, if you had that truck all this time since it was new, I said, my math shows that you did about 3.5 miles a day. And he said, yep, that sounds about right. So I bid on it, and came down to the wire. Tuesday came, and I put the biggest bid I could on it, and I ended up getting that truck. So it was mine. So then the next step was how to get that truck. When I bought it at that auction, it was in a yard in Seattle, Washington. I decided to fly to Seattle, grabbed a taxi, went over, picked up the truck, started driving it back to Montana, which was a pretty long drive. It's a long drive across the whole state of Washington. Go through Idaho pretty quick, and then from one side of Montana to the other is an extremely long drive. And after about 11 hours or 12 hours, I made it back to Billings. Had to get a hotel. Couldn't have done it another 3 minutes. So I got up the next morning, called a buddy of mine, Chad, and said, Chad, I'm in town. You knew I was coming. I really want to show you the ranch. Let's go take a look. He said, hey, my dad wants to tag along, Ken. I said, bring him with you. So we all got together. We jumped in this new used truck of mine and headed for the ranch. So and decided to show him around a little bit. As soon as we got into the ranch, there was a small herd of mule deer, does walking around. So we stopped, took a few pictures of them. They were real responsive to the camera. Hey, look at me. Saw something in a tree, decided to go check it out. Wasn't sure what it was at first, but it was a porcupine. So wasn't real happy I was there, but snapped a picture of them anyway. These rock structures are pretty cool. So for some reason they just really stand out. So, sandstone monoliths. Now we're standing up here by the cabin, and this is pretty much the view from the cabin. Kind of walking around the cabin. Kind of different areas right here on top of the hill. Kind of looking around the cabin, trying to figure out a game plan. No, I got to do a lot of fixing up. So this is only a shell. So didn't stay long this trip. Left the truck with Chad and his dad. They drove it back to Cody, Wyoming, and decided to fly back and start really getting a game plan. Chad and I discussed the fact that this truck needed a little bit of lipstick and rouge to make it look pretty. So he had found this material, this rhino lining type stuff that was do-it-yourself home DIY kit. He mixed it up, threw some plastic and paint on the truck, and he went to town. I think it looks great. This ought to hold up to a ranch. Looks like a ranch truck to me.
If you feel we've earned it, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.